everybody? It is Arkham, and we have a different type of video for you guys today. This is going to be my next 5-year prediction for Six Flags Great Adventure. I know I'm typically doing it a little bit earlier than usual. However, I want to get this one out here before they end up announcing the 2025 edition, just to throw my idea out into the open. And there's a lot of things that can definitely happen in the next 5 years for the park. We had the merger between Six Flags and Cedar Fair become official. So there's a lot of big things that could be altered. And I've had to push this video back many, many times before because we weren't sure about the merger. Now that the merger's happening, I could put that into full effect when going through the next 5 years. I have the park map up here just to give me an idea of what we could add. What can they do? What improvements can be made in the next 5 years? There's so much that this park can do, even though it looks like they don't have a lot of space. But they have a lot more space than you might think. They have a big plan for 2025, and who knows what's going to happen beyond that. And that's why I'm here to predict what I think they're going to be doing in the next 5 years, 2025 through 2029 new announcements. All right, stay tuned and hear what that's going to be right now. Now, in order for us to predict what's going to happen in the next 5 years, we have to go back 5 years and talk about what was added and improvements that were made in the past 5 years, starting back to 2019. This was the year that Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth, the Zamparo Discovery, in Movietown opened up. This is a phenomenal flat ride, a really fun ride at that, and definitely one I would encourage you to get on. 2020, yeah, we don't need to talk about that year. But in 2021 was the year that Jersey Devil opened. Alongside that, we also got the Little Devil Coaster, which was formerly the Roadrunner Railway in Looney Tunes Seaport, to which Jersey Devil took over, was moved to replace the Safari Tours, another problematic kiddie ride that was in that area, and ended up taking that plot of land. In 2022 is when they rebranded Bizarro back to Medusa, and they changed the entire kiddie area, renaming it from Safari Kids to Junior Thrill Seekers. That was 2022. In 2023, they had a little bit of an off year. This was the year that they closed El Toro earlier and they could do the retracking, and this was the year that it was able to reopen. Since then, it has not closed for an extended period of time for any more issues, and I'm knocking on all the wood I have in my home to make sure that it is completely stays that way and it stays nice and reliable. It has been doing very, very well in the 2024 season, and I hope it continues to stay that way because it is running amazing this year. And then finally in 2024, we're not only getting Flash Vertical Velocity, we're getting a new refurbed log flume. We're getting giant wheel changes, just even larger park improvements. We got Dream Street this year. I mean, there's so many changes for 2024. The 50th anniversary, Decade Day was a massive event that took place this year. Roaring Rapids is now the name of the former Congo Rapids, and basically taking out Adventure Seaport and replacing it now as the Pine Barrens. So there were so many changes to 2024 as well as these past couple of years. But now that we have that in mind, I'm going to show you the park map, and we're going to go 1 year at a time, starting with 2025 and what I think they're going to do each year from 2025 all the way to 2029. Let's go!
25.
In 2025, it has been suspected that it'll be a big year for the park. They're going to invest in something thrilling, whether it's a roller coaster or a flat ride. As of right now, the current Arena Plaza land in between Medusa and Runaway Mine Train is being used as storage for the log flume troughs. Since now, it has been entirely cleared out, but no markings have been found around the area just yet. I'm still going to edge towards the path of us getting another roller coaster here. As for what kind of roller coaster, one of the biggest words on the street is going to be some kind of Intamin roller coaster like Velocicoaster. However, I don't know if we're going to go that far down the stretch yet. One of the biggest needs is going to be a family coaster. Specifically, a family launch coaster. I'm looking back to Vekoma for this one. And I think a Vekoma family launch coaster would be amazing for this park. Big Bear Mountain at Dollywood. Any kind of family boomerang would even work really well back here. I think that they're going to prioritize a big family thrill coaster before they go back into the throwing department. And I think in Frontier Adventures, you're looking at a great area for this.
What could be next?
In 2026, I think that they're going to stay on the left side of the park and focus on the Golden Kingdom. For those that don't know, the Golden Kingdom only has two rides, Kingda Ka and Zumanjaro. They are two of the most intense rides in the park. Flat out, period. Which is why not a lot of people go to them. But we want to attract the families to this area, outside of the animals, of course. So what I'm going to do is we're going to push back the Zumanjaro entrance closer to where it divides off. And then we're going to add some flat rides in this area, whether they're by Zamperla. I've like the Zamperla Nebulas, maybe an air race, maybe some other, like some Huss rides or whatever it is. Probably two flats would work really well in this area just to bring the families back here. So I would be on the lookout for the addition of some new flat rides, whether they're thrilling or family flats, which I think would fit really well. Again, I think a pair of scooters would work amazing here with some nebulas and maybe like a Troika kind of ride, like Dorney has one and Cedar Point has one. Those would be amazing fits for this area, and they can even give it some nice jungle theming to add into the Golden Kingdom section. Whatever it is, I think something family related's got to come here.
Circus.
I think most of us who have gone to this park for years now can all agree on one thing. Something needs to happen to the boardwalk. This poor area of the park just has been neglected ever since Green Lantern got added. And we need something new here. It's also getting very outdated. Currently, the only draw for this area outside of Superman and Green Lantern being at the front of the park is during Fright Fest when they have the two haunt mazes in there behind the swing shot. They got the swing shot, okay, but you gotta pay for it. You got the go karts, oh, you gotta pay for it, and it's also in the corner. And you got Twister, which is now the last one, to my knowledge, in the country. And maybe even the world. I don't know the extent of it. Oh, and the parachutes. They're just chilling there. They're not running them anymore, and they're not taking down the tower anytime soon. So now you only come here for two kind of mediocre rides. So yeah, something really dire needs to happen to the boardwalk. And I think they're going to take a while to figure out a plan, but I think 2027 they're going to finally execute it. Not only do they basically have to just redo this entire area to make it nice and fresh, especially the game's good lord, but all the rides that are back here, yeah, they need some serious help. Um, Whether it means they got to take out Twister, which is probably what they'll do in the next 5 years. Maybe they got to remove the swing shot. I know a couple parks have been removing their swing shots as of late. Sometimes the go karts as well. Maybe even that Fright Fest building, but honestly, they're probably going to keep that. But I do know that this is definitely not something that'll take 1 year to do. It's definitely a multi-year project, but I think this will be more of a prep year for them. I still think in 2027 they will add a ride. And in order to add a ride, they have to take one out. And my go-to is going to be the go-karts. They haven't been using the go-karts for a while, and usually not a lot of people go on the go-karts anymore anyway. I see them tossing the go-karts and adding at least one flat ride. Again, going back to the 2026 prediction, that could be a set of scooters, that could be a Nebulas, that could even be a Zampero with Disco, which I think would actually work really well in this area. They'd have to move the basketball game for it, which I wouldn't mind that at all. But all in all, I think that another flat ride to go here just to draw people into this area in order to prepare for what will be the bigger addition later on for this section to help it be more improved.
I'm accepted and valued, and I'm totally not even crying, not even a little bit right now.
So part of the 2027 Boardwalk makeover would be gutting Green Lantern entirely, removing it from the park. In case you don't know, Green Lantern was a relocated roller coaster from Kentucky Kingdom in Kentucky, which was formerly called Chang, which already makes it not as reliable as, say, some other rides that were built already for specifically the park. This case, Green Lantern wasn't really specifically made for the park, it was relocated to the park. Therefore, if there was a roller coaster that were going to be on the chopping block, it most likely would be Green Lantern. I predict that Green Lantern would be cut entirely and replaced with a brand new multi-launch roller coaster. This would be a more thrilling roller coaster than the family Vekoma coaster that was added before. Maybe it will be a Vekoma. Maybe this could be the Intamin roller coaster that's been rumored that people have wanted to add. I think a launch coaster in a boardwalk section of the park has a lot of value and can actually really make the whole area stand out a little bit more now. And I think, therefore, it just makes a lot of sense. I'm going to lean towards the sides of Intamin here because I think by now they should be on good terms with Intamin. I think Georgia Surfer at Six Flags Over Georgia is going to be a big hit for them. So I think they're going to want to go back to Intamin at some point to do some change, to want to make this brand new roller coaster. And then by then, if they were to remove Twister and then they take out the whole parachute tower at that point, it would be okay now knowing that there is this roller coaster. And then now you have even more of a reason for the continuation of this boardwalk makeover to happen and sort of be this part two, so to speak.
I got a chocolate bar. I got a quarter. I got a rock.
After a new roller coaster, a flat ride package, and an entire area makeover, I think it's time for 2029 to turn towards something that wouldn't be possible without the Six Flags Cedar Fair merger. It only makes sense to make some kind of prediction off of this. However, I don't know if it'll be happening this late, so I'm going to say it'll happen at around 2029. And I think that Great Adventure will be one of the earlier OG Six Flags parks to get or rebrand one of their areas to none other than Charlie Brown and Snoopy, whether that is through Camp Snoopy, which I think would work amazing in retheming from Junior Thrill Seekers, and just turning that into a brand new Camp Snoopy area. If you ask me, Camp Snoopy works so well when it comes to the Pine Barrens, especially that you have Jersey Devil right behind it, you got Skull Mountain right there, and they can really tie in that whole kitty area into the idea of Skull Mountain and even Jersey Devil if they so wanted to. So, if you ask me, Camp Snoopy would be amazing to rebrand the entire Junior Thrill Seekers area into. I also think that they will continue with small minor touch ups in the boardwalk section, just finishing up that boardwalk makeover. However, I think that they're going to set their priority to Camp Snoopy and retheming Junior Thrill Seekers into Camp Snoopy. As for the Skyway, which I think by now they will have the entire Skyway rebuilt from the ground up with an all new ride system, new motors, new gondolas, just to give it that more of a resort feel, almost in like the same way of the Disney Skyliner, to kind of go really out of their way and go very extravagant with these. And I think the reason for its extended closure is I also think that they are going to find a way to have the Skyway go and gain access to the park going straight to Savannah Sunset, which is why I think that they are also keeping it on hold. It's a very far away idea in theory, but it's something that very well could potentially be on the roadmap. They could be wanting to use the Skyway and expand it a little bit, and that way they could then add Savannah Sunset as just another way to gain access into the park instead of having to take a bus to the front. So that, my friends, is my prediction for the next 5 years for Six Flags Great Adventure. Let me know what you guys think. What is your 5 year plan for Six Flags Great Adventure? What do you think Great Adventure is going to do in the next 5 years? No matter what they're going to do in the next 5 years, I am beyond excited for what the next 5 years are going to look like now that the merger has gone through, now that we have even more IPs to work with, now that there are even more storytelling and theming elements that could be coming to these extra rides, even more park improvements, and just so much going on that is going to make next off season even more exciting to watch out for, and the ones beyond that, and even the upcoming seasons. I am so fired up, you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your next 5 years look like, what you want to see for the next 5 years. Leave a like down below, comment, subscribe always. Thank you. your ride operators, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye!
Here we go.